Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, wherever you're from, whoever you are, welcome from me and Stanley, who keeps wanting to come up, and then when he comes up, he wants to get down again. But there he is. Look, hello, say hello to everybody, Stanley. Say hello to Stanley. Say hello. No? Doesn't fancy it. Doesn't fancy it. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all well. Match day tomorrow. And, we used to really get excited for match day. And at the moment, it's very difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult to get up for these matches. There's nothing enjoyable about watching us. Hasn't been for years. If we're going to be brutally honest, I've not enjoyed Tottenham for a very long time, but it's another one of those must-win games, isn't it? And we're running out of games. We're running out. Lots of people still messaging me every day. You're negative. Somebody messaged me yesterday and said, you've got a loser's mentality. Because I said, I think we're going to go down. Well, sorry. I'm seeing a Tottenham team that haven't won in 14 and have lost 50 of the last 100. So forgive me for not really being too positive about Tottenham's survival chances right now. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, very thirsty today. So look, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. We all need a win. I think we all know we need the win, but it's getting to a squeaky bum stage where we're now no longer thinking, well, maybe 1 or 2 wins will be enough. I think we're in the territory of thinking, hang on, if these other teams keep picking up results, we might need 3 wins from the last 6. And it's very difficult. As my man Wolfie always says to me, the win will probably come from the most unlikeliest of places. But, we look at all the games now, don't we? And go, well, Wolves away, they're relegated. That'll be easy. Villa will be playing for Europe, so we'll win that. And Everton might not have anything to play for on the last day, and we'll win that. And Chelsea are rubbish, so we'll win that. I just don't think it's that simple, right? I don't think it's that simple. And I think a lot of it is, we talked about this a lot, and I'll bring up the article in a minute from Toby Alderweireld. And he's basically, I'm so glad he said it. I'm so bored of seeing YouTubers, people on X, on Reddit, on Facebook, football fans everywhere, burying their head in the sand about the standard of these footballers. I'm really bored of it. I'm really bored of it. I'm really bored of the players. I'm really bored of all of them. I think you all know my opinion on the players. So I was quite pleased to read what Toby Alderweireld had said, because you think that's a top player who played in the top team. And he's basically saying, and we'll go through the article, he's basically saying that the players aren't good enough. And he goes in, doesn't he, on Van der Ven, on Romero. He goes in on them. And I make him absolutely right. For too long I've heard how good Toby, Van der Ven is, and Romero, and Doggy, and Porro, and Richie. And I'm so bored of it. I don't know about you guys. I'm just so bored of them. I'm so bored of these players. Every game now, I just can't get excited for it, because none of them do anything that gets you off your seat. Spurs don't have any player that, that little bit of magic, and you go, oh, yeah, we don't have that anymore. And, Toby Alderweireld said some things. We'll look at that. And we'll also have a look at this news about Senesi, right? So we know that Ornstein, who's very reliable, right, has said that Tottenham are one of the favourites to grab Senesi on a free transfer from Bournemouth if we stay up. And of course, we're in those conversations now, aren't we? We're in those conversations where everything we talk about now, we have to caveat and say, if we stay up, if we don't go down, right? And that's a really bleak, bad place to be. But we'll have a look at that as well. We'll look at Senesi. I really like Senesi. I think he's a good player. He's one of the no-nonsense, solid centre-back, solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 every week, does his job. And that's what I wanted. I don't want these Van der Vens and Romeros who are brilliant one week and then utterly shit for the next 3. I've said this for ages about all of our players. I'm so bored a player does one thing, they get absolutely praised as though they've done something amazing. And I think that shows just how far we've fallen. Sorry, by the way, is there a window open somewhere? Freezing. Yeah, sorry. It's just I'm not speaking to a ghost, by the way. I'm speaking to my wife. Yeah, it's absolutely freezing in this house. I don't know why. So look, we're in that territory, aren't we? We're in that territory where we're talking about if we stay up. And it's funny, we've had our Andy Robertson last week. This week it's Senesi, 2 free transfers. What does that say about the financial situation? Is money tight? Are they looking to get those 2 in for solid experience, good age? 32 for Robertson, 28, I believe Senesi is. So are we looking to get them in for experience, and then the rest of the transfer budget, as it were, can go on other areas of the pitch? I've got nothing wrong with that. I've got nothing wrong with Spurs doing that. But again, it's if we stay up. Andy Robertson is not going to sign for Tottenham if we go down. And Senesi is far too good. He will not sign for Tottenham if we go down. I have my doubts about whether or not he signs for Spurs anyway. I think he might get better offers, but we'll see. So we'll have a look at all of that. And we'll have a look too, what might the team be tomorrow? We'll look at that as well. It's difficult. We've got one game of evidence to base De Zerbi's team selection on. I'm just praying that he doesn't go for the same 11 as last week. I thought he got it very wrong. I thought the performance was woeful. Many people are telling me that, they thought we played well. And I'm like, I thought we were awful. I genuinely thought the first 3 or 4 minutes, we had a couple of attacks, didn't we? Where, Richarlison kind of did what Richarlison does. But after that, I don't think we did a thing. I mean, people are saying we had 7 shots on target. I don't really remember their keeper having to do a lot. I don't really remember. I mean, I don't remember Kinski having to do a lot. But for me, not a good performance, not a good team selection, an all-round bad debut for De Zerbi. But tomorrow at home, his first home game where we've been poor. Can he change that? Hopefully he can. And it's his old club where he'll know a lot of these players, right? It's his old club coming to White Hart Lane. So, look, there's a fair bit for us to discuss this afternoon. And then tomorrow I'll be live. We've got, 5:30 kickoff. I'll go live at 3 o'clock. We'll do a live score show first, and then we'll go straight into the to the match. So this will be interesting. This weekend, Coventry can go up with a win tonight. So Coventry can go up. You've got Man City versus Arsenal at the weekend. That's going to be an interesting game as well. So there's a lot going on, isn't there? There's a lot going on. And just for once, it would be lovely for Spurs to pull something out the bag, wouldn't it? It would be lovely. I don't believe we will. I hope I'm wrong. I've said this so much this season. I don't think we are going to win, but I hope we win. Yeah, I know that comes across as negative. I'm sorry, but you can't blame me. We've gone nearly half a season without winning a game of football. We're 14 games without winning a game of football, and only 3 teams in Premier League history have ever had a worse winless run, and all 3 of them got relegated. So it's not boding well. And also as well, when we look to tomorrow's game, it's an interesting one from Brighton's perspective. Brighton could end the weekend in 6th and in Europa League. So it's a big game for them as well. It's a big game this weekend. It's huge. And we've said that for weeks and months. Nothing's changed. We're not picking up points. And at some point, the blind hope and belief that people are bringing to the table, at some point, that blind hope and belief needs to turn into Spurs winning a game, doesn't it? There's there's a lot riding on tomorrow. And if the others around us, and by the way, I think Forest are going to win. I think Leeds are going to win. And then West Ham have got Palace. And I think if those three all win and we don't, I think it's curtains. I do. And it's really sad. It's, I think somebody said to me yesterday on my YouTube comments, it's hilarious. Somebody said, oh, you want us to get relegated? I said, I don't. I said, I've come to terms in my mind that the probability of going down is greater than the probability of staying up. And I think it makes it easier. It's almost like if you find that someone dies and it's not expected and it's instant, it hits you hard, right? If you know somebody is dying, you can mentally prepare for it in some way. So it's still sad when it happens, but you've adjusted, and that's how I'm with Spurs right now. I've kind of mentally prepared myself for relegation at the moment. However, Spurs grab a win tomorrow, suddenly you go, well, hang on, we're back in the game. But I just don't see. I don't see where the win is coming from. I really, really don't. Bear with me 1 second, people. I'm just going to see if... 1 second. Where are we? Where are we? Sorry. I'm just going to get the bit about Toby Alderweireld. Right. Let's have a look at this, shall we? So let me bring this up. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to show you the video, but I'm going to bring this up. Let me just see if I can shift that to be a bit bigger. Bear with me 1 second. So you'll see here that it says relegation threatens. Tottenham players are not good enough. Toby Alderweireld has said that. And he goes on to say this. He goes, former Tottenham centre-back, Toby Alderweireld. Hang on, let me move myself. Sorry, that's not good, is it? Let me move myself there. There you go. Former Tottenham centre-back, Toby Alderweireld. By the way, how bloody good was Toby Alderweireld? Whoa. He was a bloody top centre-half, wasn't he? It makes me sad when I watch that, like when I see the praise that Van der Ven and Romero get, and I'm like, these boys aren't fit to, I don't think they were fit to be understudies to Toby and Jan. But Toby said this, former Tottenham centre-back Toby Alderweireld has given a scathing assessment of the club's current plight, telling ESPN that the current crop of players are not good enough in terms of quality, and singling out Captain Romero for criticism. About bloody time somebody did, by the way. Alderweireld and defensive partner Jan Vertonghen were two of the linchpins of Mauricio Pochettino's Spurs team that consistently qualified for the Champions League and challenged for the Premier League title in 16 and 17. He was also pivotal in Spurs' run to the Champions League final in 2019. Goes on to say, since Pochettino's sacking and the exit of star names such as Dele Alli, Harry Kane and Son Heung-min over the following years, Spurs have slipped down the table and now find themselves facing the prospect of a once unthinkable relegation to the Championship. The North London club are 18th in the Premier League table with 6 games remaining, 2 points behind West Ham, and Tottenham are yet to win a Premier League match in 2026. Other than that, it's all positive. I promise you, other than that. Let's read on. Toby Alderweireld said, I think you need to start looking at pure quality. Thank you, Toby. At last, all these YouTubers who keep telling me these players are better than we're seeing. No, they're not. They're rubbish. Alderweireld told ESPN, what do big players do? What do quality players do? This is to be decisive at the important moments. Achieve your level. And that has not been happening all season. Players who are acquired for a lot of money, but who nevertheless don't deliver, and not just in 1 or 2 matches or a period, but throughout the whole season. And that is, right? That is what I've said. When people say we're in bad form, It's not bad form if you've been like this for years, right? That is what you are. Yeah, it's not bad form if it keeps happening, right? Consistently. That's not form. That just means you're bad. He says, you just have to conclude that they are not good enough in terms of quality. Bang on. Bang on, Toby. Thank you. Thank you. Now, people can say, oh, that's only one man's opinion. But I think people are starting to wake up now and realize that when some fans have been saying that the transfer windows have been shit and that the summer was shit, January was shit, last January was shit, the summer before that was shit, I think a lot of people are waking up now to the fact that, hang on, we've praised these players over and over and over again for nothing. And they had a good cup run. They had a good cup run. They won the Europa League. And now everyone thinks they're amazing. He said, it says, Alderweireld's comments are made all the more all the more notable because he is among the first of Spurs' former stars to share his thoughts on the club's disastrous season. Well, let's get more of them coming out. He highlighted the form of Romero and centre-back partner Mickey van der Ven, saying they haven't stepped up. Bang on. Because they're not good enough. I look at Romero. I look at van der Ven. They just aren't reaching their level, he said. Again, not for a period, but actually for an entire season. Then I also look at Romero, who gets red cards too often, doesn't make the right decisions, and therefore lets his team down. Isn't it funny when people like me say it, when I say it, I'm told I'm not a fan, I'm terrible, shouldn't be on YouTube, what do I know, and that he's great. When a top class centre half like Toby Alderweireld comes out and says it, people start to listen, don't they? They start to listen. And he's so right, isn't he? You know, he said when you look at the red cards too often, doesn't make the right decisions, and therefore he lets his team down. He goes on, he says, Spurs have tried to stop their slide into the relegation zone by hiring and firing managers, with De Zerbi coming in as the club's third manager of the season earlier this month, following the disastrous tenures of Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor. However, Alderweireld has said it's the players, not managers, who must take greater responsibility for Spurs' downfall. Not allowed to say that, Toby. Not allowed to say that. People will not like you for saying this, Toby, but I respect you fully. He says, now you notice that the coach isn't the problem. It's really purely the squad. Alderweireld said the quality in the squad, the responsibilities of the players. You could always put another coach in charge, but you notice that they just don't deliver what they need to deliver. And that is ultimately just quality. I'm so glad that Toby has come out and said this. I'm so glad. I need to stop being told how good these footballers are. As I've said, when people say to me, who do you want to keep for next season? I don't care. Other than Kudus and Maddison, I genuinely don't care who stays and who goes, right? They can all go for all I care. Anyway, let's continue reading. He's the former Belgium international also noted that he believes there are structural problems that have led to the team's decline. Structural problems. It comes down to shaping the right people, shaping the right team. I love Toby Alderweireld. And those purchases have gone wrong. And that has been happening year after year. So that is indeed a structural problem. And again, what happened after the summer window? We had a great window. We've signed 4 first team. Did it in January. Last January, we did it last summer. We keep doing it, don't we? We keep having these bad windows and we just pretend. We just bury our head in the sand and go, oh, that's good. That's good. He said it comes down. Sorry, I've just read that bit, haven't I? He said, I've also read that the club is run fantastically from a business perspective, but not as a football club. Bang on. Lubo will be reading that and going, I told you, it's leaving. I can see him now. As a football club, all your value is on the pitch, and that shows what the club looks like, and that's not good. And this is why when I said the other day, what will Enoch's 25 years of legacy left us with? This. Shit on the pitch, shit scouting, shit academy, no structure. As I said, I don't think that anybody can defend them anymore. Surely they cannot be defended for what they have turned this football club into. Let's continue reading. And then this little graph, by the way, is quite interesting. So this is 1992 to today. If you actually watch that graph as it's, there you go. It's actually doing it in real time. Look at that. Oh, look at that drop. Look at that drop. And again, you look at it, right? You look at it. Bad, isn't it? Let's see if there's anything else to this article. Is there? No, that's it. So that's it. But again, Toby Alderweireld is calling out the club. He's calling out the captain. He's calling out the quality of the footballers. And I make him absolutely right. Right? I make him absolutely right. And I'd like it if more came out and said it so that the owners can start hearing it from proper footballers. It's all well and good YouTubers saying it and Spurs fans saying it. It's all well and good pundits saying it. But when your ex-players that were, let's be fair, Toby was absolutely class. For me, he was the best in that back four. It was a great back four, but he was the best. I think when he came in, everything changed. His partnership with Jan Vertonghen was sensational. Quality on the ball, quality passing, great leader of men, good in the tackle. And it's a shame when you look at Romero and Van der Ven compared to this guy. It's a shame how far we've fallen. Who else comes? Well, Reese, who comes out and says something? Is it Moussa Dembele? Does Danny Rose come out with one of his Googling comments? But it's sad that it's come to this, right? But I'm actually really glad that it's getting noticed now. I think for too long, there has been way too much blame on everybody other than the players. Everybody other than the players. And that doesn't mean anybody else doesn't take blame, but they, for me, are the one constant. If you look at the last 3 years and how bad we've been, these players are the constant, not the ones that have played 5-10 games for us. I'm not talking about people like Sosa. I'm not talking about people like Gallagher, but the other players, Simmons and Kudus have only played a handful of games, but the other players have been here for years, haven't they? They've been here for years, and it starts to become not a coincidence, doesn't it? It starts to become normality. And I was having a chat with someone last night. I said, Spurs aren't doing too well, are they? So I'm a Spurs fan. And I said, no. I said, last couple of months. I said, look, when I actually broke it down and said, it's not the last couple of months. It's years. And it's funny, when I break it down, do you know what I get told? I always get told, you're cherry picking data. Cherry picking data is picking 1 month. Cherry picking data would be picking 5 games, 10 games. I'm giving you years of evidence. And that's why the more we've slid towards relegation, the more it doesn't surprise me. Don't worry about who said they're going to finish 6th, 8th, 10th. Don't worry about all that. Fans, we all predict. That's not the point. But what we see with our eyes over a year, the evidence that's come to light, is that we're just not very good. Now, can we stay up and we go again? I think that's what we're all hoping for. Some will be saying we need to go down. I don't buy that. However, it's out of our hands. Relegation, as it stands, is out of our hands. If West Ham Leeds and Forest. Now, they're not going to, but if these three teams win their last 6 games, Tottenham Hotspur are relegated. It's out of our hands. So what we've got to hope is we're now in the territory of hope that we win games, and one eye over there, and one eye over there on those 3 teams. And that's a real sad indictment of how bad we've fallen. It's a real sad indictment as well that more and more now I'm seeing people say, don't care who stays at this club, sell them all. I'm seeing so many people now saying, yeah, sell them all. And I don't care. Listen, you're not going to sell them all. I completely get that, right? I completely understand that we're not going to change up a 25, 30 man squad in one window. But in the summer, if I see, Porro's been sold, all right, what do I care? If I see Adogi or Kulu or Van, I don't care. I genuinely don't think any of them have done anything in a Spurs shirt that makes me go, cannot believe we're selling him. There's no Bale. There's no Modric. There's no Sheringham, Kane, Son. There's no Moussa Dembele. There's no Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen's. Those players hated it when they left. Top footballers. Now, I look at it and I go, well, sure, some of them will go to big clubs. Sure. But when people say that, I always think to myself, I don't care where they go. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say Romero leaves and he goes to Atletico Madrid and Atletico Madrid win La Liga. People go, told you Romero's great. I don't care what he does elsewhere. I care what he does here. I care what these players do here. And I've seen enough. I've seen the only ones I enjoy watching are Kudus and Maddison. They're the only ones I don't listen. I was having a chat with Lubo on the phone yesterday, and I said the worrying thing about this plight is we're sitting here as though we're waiting for a world-class striker to come back from injury and save us. The worrying thing is all of our strikers are fit. That's truly worrying. So for those of you who have been my age or older, you will remember the year where Teddy Sheringham, I'm going back some years here, people. In the 90s, there was a season of 96, 97, somewhere around there. And Teddy was out for most of the season. And we struggled and we dropped and we dropped and we dropped. And he came back, I think, for the last 8 or 9 games of the season, scored goals and kept us up. Don't know if anyone remembers. And we don't have that right now, do we? We don't have that at the club. There's no one that we're waiting to come back from injury to save us. This is it. And De Zerbi, unlike Frank and unlike Tudor, he's got a lot of fit footballers, hasn't he? He's got a lot of fit footballers to pick from. So De Zerbi hasn't really even got the excuse of, hey, you've only got 12 or 13 players fit. Do you know what I mean? We don't have we don't have that anymore. We've got, I believe last week there were 21 first team players available, and I think Sosa didn't make the bench, right? This week, Bentancur is back. Basuma's back, right? So the bodies are coming back, and he's got no excuses, really. He knew what he was taking on. By the way, I'm not blaming De Zerbi for anything. I like De Zerbi. But he knew what he was taking on, right? When he walked into this club with 7 games to go, he knew this was the squad he was taking on. How you doing, Louis? How you doing, man? Hope you're well. Say hi, Sava. Hello, mate. Also, we've always had a special player. Oh, God, haven't we? Not now. Yeah, someone who could do something special, an assist or a goal out of nothing. This is really annoying me. That 1 second. 1 second. What? Oh, that bloody fly. Sorry. You're right. And now we don't have it. We just don't have it, do we? We don't have that one. Like, Louis, for tomorrow's game, who's that one player where you go, you know what? He's going to get the ball 25 yards out, jink it past someone and rifle it in the top corner. You know, we had that in abundance with Gareth Bale, Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, Son, Kane. I mean, I can go back to the days of Chris Waddle, Glenn Hoddle. Like, I can't quite go back to the Ricky Villa and Ozzy Ardili days. I'm not that old. But you're right. There isn't, right? There isn't. The Ginolas. God, I used to every week. Well, you all know how much I love this man. I literally fancy David Ginola. My wife will tell you. We'd go every game, and Spurs weren't a great team, but every game he'd get and he'd do something in a game where you go, oh, look how good he is. Now I'm watching, like, we argue, don't we? Who should start up front? Is it Richie, Mwani, or Solanke? I mean, it's like saying, which way do you want to die? Is it by being shot or drowning? I don't care. They're both really, really painful, right, in their own way, right? That is what it's like with the Spurs options. Who do you want to play in midfield? Is it going to be Sarr? Is it Bergvall? Is it Gray? Is it Gallagher? Is it Basuma? Is it like? Does anyone care anymore? Like, there's nothing there where you go, I recognise Tottenham. You know what I mean? There's no one where you go, I recognise that this is Tottenham Hotspur. And look, we you know, there's lots of debates that go on YouTube channels about, but you know, what is the Spurs way and blah, blah. But I've always felt connected to the club. I'm sure all of you have, as Spurs fans, always felt connected to Tottenham. The last few years, I found it really hard. I found it really hard to be connected with anything we're doing, from not promoting youth, from the signings that we make, from managers that we pick, from directors that come in, from all of these different things. I'm struggling to go, there's an identity, or there's something that makes me think this is Tottenham Hotspur. You know, so look, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to stay up. I don't know if we're going to go down. My heart is saying we're going to stay up, but it's very dangerous listening to your heart, isn't it? Because sometimes it's your head that often tells the truth. And at the moment, I can't see it. Apologies. I can't. Let me ask you right now in the chat. Just put in the word up or down. Up as in we're staying up, down as in you think we're going down. Are you guys up or are you guys down? Now, not what you want, but what you think will happen. Are we up? Are we staying up? Are we in the Premier League next year? Or are we going down and we're going to play championship football, which is tough, which is tough down there. It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. And it's very, very difficult, right? It's very, very difficult to see right now. I want to come on here, right? I do. And, you know, I'm aware that I get called not a Spurs fan and all these things. I want to come on here and say, do you know what, guys? I really feel good about tomorrow's game because of X, Y, Z. But I don't see, from the team selection I saw last week, I'm worried. From the level of players that we've got, I'm worried. For the form that we're in, I'm worried. For the home form, for years now, I'm worried. So it's very difficult for me to sit here and go, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. We're staying up. I'm telling you. I want to stay up. I am one of these people who thinks it's going to be absolutely catastrophic to get relegated. I do. I am not one of these people who thinks that there's green shoots in going down. I'm not. However, if we go down, then the building needs to burn with it. And we will need to completely start again. And it will need to be a complete clear out from top to bottom. I'm talking directors. I'm talking academy player. I'm talking the whole thing will need to be ripped up from top to bottom. And the shame of it And the shame of it, and I'll tell you what, the human element of this, why I don't want to go down more than anything, is how many normal people, by normal, I mean the non-millionaire footballers and board directors, right? How many normal people will lose their job at Tottenham Hotspur? They reckon it could be up to about 300 staff that lose their jobs. Now let that sink in. So when people say to me, "Oh, you want relegation?" No, I don't, because forget football for a second. This is people's livelihoods that we're talking about. These are people that pay their bills and their mortgages with that. So I think it will be absolutely catastrophic. By the way, if anyone wants any discussion points, anyone wants to ask any questions, just put a big capital Q and then a question, and then we'll save some and go through them as we go. Let's do a couple of super chats. Big up to All Boxed Up. Big up to you. How are you doing? Thank you very much. Very generous. Says, a sorry state of affairs. Spurs relegated. I think it is a very sad state of affairs. And I think we are going down. But as I said, tomorrow for me, tomorrow is going to show, right? Tomorrow is going to show, like the last 14 games have, whether or not these players have enough fight and quality to get us out of this. If we don't win tomorrow, we could be 5 points off safety with 5 games to go. Right? Let that sink in. Right? Let that sink in. And you think this year we're not even averaging a point a game. Right? How many games? How many games we played? 32? We're averaging 0.93 points a game. Let that, think about that, right? 0.93. But big up to you All Boxed Up. Really, really appreciate that. And big up my man Jordan Coys. He's always very generous with a massive £20 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. You're far too generous to me. Thank you. Says in January 2024, we signed Dragashin and added Werner on loan. In the summer of 24, we signed Solanke, Gray, Odegaard, Bergvall, and Yang. It's absolutely no coincidence that our results have dropped off a cliff as a result. Jordan, absolutely bang on. Windows like that explain everything to me as to why Spurs deserve relegation. Not us, not the fans, but why the club deserve relegation. Look at the state of those players. I'm not blaming these, but look at the state of those 2 windows. Look at it. It's utterly crazy. It's utterly crazy. It's truly crazy when you look at this, Jordan. I mean, it's only when things get written down and you actually read them out loud, Jordan, that you realize how bad it is, right? Like, none of those players get it. For me, I don't want to see any of those players that have just been mentioned in a Spurs shirt. None of them are good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. You think, I mean, when you look at the cost of some of them, I mean, Dragashin was what, 25 million euros? It's not a lot. You know, Werner, we paid what? Was it 5 million in loans or something? Or 6 million in loan plus wages? I don't know. And then Solanke was 57 million. Gray was 40 million. Odegaard was about 25, 30. I know Bergvall was only 8 million, but if I had said to you, right, I mean, if you add that up, right, what's that? 25 for Dragashin, but another 10 odd on loans and wages, whatever for Werner, that's 35. Add that to the 57 for Solanke. What's that? 80, 87, that's 92. Add 40 for Gray, it's 132. 25 million for Odegaard. What's that? 132, 157. Bergvall was about 8. That's 165 million. Yang was about another 5. Right, there's about 175 million pounds of player there. Imagine I said to you lot, right? Now, I'm guessing none of you are actual football scouts. Me neither, right? I'm guessing if I had said, right, hey, I don't know, Me and Acid Twin, big up Acid Twin. Me and Acid Twin, we're going to go around the world scouting for Tottenham, and we've got 175 million to spend. We are bringing back better players than what Tottenham have just signed as per that super chat. Right? We are bringing back better players than this for 175 million. And that's worrying, right? Right? That's so worrying. And this is the problem, Glennie Hoddle. This is the problem. You could go back loads of windows. It's crap after crap after crap, isn't it? And unfortunately, it catches up with you. Right? It catches up with you. If you keep buying badly, you're going to be bad. No matter what manager we bring. You can bring in Pep Guardiola. You could bring in Pep, Luis Enrique. With these footballers, nothing's going to change. They are not good enough. And that's the problem. And that is the problem. You could argue that none of these are Premier League level. I do argue. Listen, I think Solanke is a relegation club striker. So what he's doing now. Again, I watch Solanke. Every now and then he scores a goal, right? And people go, oh, he's really good if he's played right. And then we have 5-6 games where you go, God, he's rubbish. And that's the problem, right? Good players, you don't have those conversations with, right? And it is absolutely criminal business. Yeah, look, new evidence comes to light, right? Like, look, I don't get me wrong. I still think there are fans that deserve some things, but in general, that they deserve it, not us, right? I am starring some questions that you've put in, by the way, guys. So I will get to them. Don't worry. Exactly. Exactly. If you said to me, Sava, I want you to go this weekend and you're going to, I don't know, you're going to go to Germany and you're going to watch 4 or 5 Bundesliga games, scout some footballers. Are you telling me I can't find better players for 175 million than those players that Spurs signed? Right? It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. And that is why when people go, oh, Sava's got an agenda against a player. I don't have an agenda against a player. If I don't think a player's good, I don't think a player's good. It serves me no good as a human being to have an agenda against a Tottenham player. I want every Tottenham player to be great. Unfortunately, they're not, right? Unfortunately, none of them are. And absolutely, Money Mace, how you doing? Absolutely bang on the money. He says, Son and Kane papered over our recruitment issues over the years. We all said without them, we are a relegation team. And the thing is, a lot of people didn't take it seriously, right? The club being the main people. The club being the main people. They did not take it seriously. And this is why when we have these types of windows and everyone says, oh, you're never happy, Sava, you're negative, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But I've not been wrong, have I, about these transfer windows. We're constantly buying nearly men. We're constantly buying people that we have to say, in 3 years, they might be good. Great. What about now? I don't care if in 3 years, Bergvall, Gray, Tell, Odeberg, Vuska, Ashley Phillip, I don't care. They might be great in 3 years, but let's worry about them in 3 years and let's buy for now, right? That's all I've asked. Just sensible signings. And Norman, it was Toby Alderweireld on this occasion, not me, saying the players aren't good enough. But yeah, look, I've not changed my stance on this. Now, are they a team that should be relegated? Well, no. But it's difficult when you get into a rut the way we have been for the last few years. And if you don't drastically change what's not been working, then you start to become a relegation team. Right? You start to become a relegation team. So whether people say we're too good, the players are better than they're showing, doesn't mean anything. They're not winning games, therefore they're not better than they're showing. You know, and unfortunately, I've made peace with it in my mind. I've made peace with it. Doesn't mean I want it. I've just made peace with it. Barbaric says, our fans don't blame the players though, Sava. All we hear is they need a different manager to get the best out of them. Some of these players have seen off mob. I think this is the problem, right? It's okay to not like a manager. It's absolutely fine to love or dislike a manager. It's fine. But how many do we want to see? How many managers do we want to see with these same footballers before we realise they're not very good? I mean, you think about it. Romero and Porro, right? Just for example, right? So Romero has played under Nuno. Let me get this right. Romero has played for Nuno, Conte, Mason, Stellini, Ange, Frank, Tudor, and De Zerbi. Right? Christian Romero's played for 8 managers. Right? 6 full-time managers, 2 caretakers. 6 to 8 managers. 6 to 8 managers. And what do I hear every week about Romero? Oh, but with a different manager in a different system, with a different manager that knows how to get. How long are we going to keep saying it? And I'm just using him as an example, right? Porro has played under all those managers other than Nuno. So he's played under 7 managers, Porro. Right? And again, this is what I mean. When I say some fans serve it, no, Solanke is not technical. He is not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. That's the problem, right? This is the problem. It doesn't matter how bad we see these players, we still keep defending. Every manager that comes and goes, the players still get backed. Don't they? I want to rip it up. Rip it up. Start again. Rip this up. It has not worked. It has been diabolical window after diabolical window. Son and Kane wasn't always going to be here, so it begs the question. What? Look, I think the key thing with the Kane and Son thing is, you can't replace them like for like, right? I think we all know that, Money Mates, right? So you've got to say, okay, what is the plan then? So if you can't replace them like for like, what's the plan? We know they carry the club. We know they score all our goals. What's the plan? Who was the person in the background going, right, guys, we need to listen. Kane and Son are getting older, right? Kane's talking about leaving. Sonny might leave, right? What is the plan? We didn't do anything. We just shuffled Son to striker when Kane left. And what we've done is replace Son with Tell. That's not a plan. If it is, it's a bloody shambolic one. Right? We have gone from Kane and Son to Richie, Solanke, Mawani, Tell, Oda. Like, how? How have we allowed this as a football club to happen? I am starring some questions, by the way, so I will get to some comments in a minute. How has anyone allowed that to happen? How has nobody at any point gone, let's have a look at some of our transfer windows, right? Like, do you know what I mean? How has nobody done this? How has anybody said a transfer window of Solanke, Bergvall, Yang, Gray, and I'm missing one, Odegaard, whatever. How has nobody looked and gone, right, we need an inquest here. How is that what a Premier League football club are buying? Who is looking and going, 40 million? Brilliant. Don't buy a proper midfielder. Go and buy an 18-year-old and develop him for 3 years. Who does that? What other Premier League football club does that? It's just crazy. And when you add all of that up, you kind of go, God, we do deserve this, don't we? Like when you add it up, not the fans, football club. When you add that up, listen, teams have shit transfer windows. It happens. But we have a shit transfer window every transfer window. Every transfer window, there's no rhyme or reason or method behind it. And I keep going back to last summer. Last summer, people go, we've got 4 first-team players in. What were they bought for? With what in mind? What was the plan? What was the structure? Why were 2 of them only on loan? Right? What's the long-term vision? Right? Like, but we paper over all of that, don't we? You know, I hear all the time, Adogi. I mean, I don't know what Adogi does. Like, I watch Adogi and go, meh. Right? Meh. He's okay. But again, but he's a left wing back. He's not a left back. I've seen him at left wing back. He looks shit. Right? Again, how many managers has Adogi played for now? 3, 4? But it's always, well, the next manager will get something out of him. Sure. The next manager, sure. You know, I saw it in the week when De Zerbi came in. It was, who benefits from De Zerbi coming in? Oh, God, we're going to do it all again, aren't we? We're going to do it all again. This player's going to be quality with De Zerbi. Don't worry that he's done nothing for 5 or 6 other managers, but De Zerbi's, it's like, oh, gosh. Absolutely. He's had 1 good year in his career. This is Spurs all over. This is, and as I said, when fans want players like this, I can't then take them seriously when they wonder why we're in a mess. 57 million. I mean, we got our pants pulled down and our bums spanked hard, didn't we? Like, this wasn't a little robbery. This was like the Great Train Robbery. If anyone is old enough, they'll know what I'm talking about. This is like the Great Train Robbery. Bournemouth must have been laughing at us. 57 million for Dominic Solanke. 57 million. You're telling me in the world of strikers across the Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Serie A, you know, what I'm missing, La Liga, the Czech League, the Belgian League, you're telling me that for 57 million, we couldn't find anyone better than Dominic Solanke. Like that alone, you just have to go, what a mess. And 2 years earlier, we spent 50, 55, whatever it was, on Richie. Like, it's just mental. And my man Glenn, big up to you, Glenn. How you doing? Absolutely. So we then go and blow the money Bayern Munich of us on Tell. Like, this club, we just do everything wrong, don't we? We just can't get anything right. And when people say that's negative, where's the positivity? Tell me what we've got right, and I'll agree with you. You tell me. Anybody in the chat right now, feel free to tell me what we've got right. You know what we got right? We built a lovely stadium. It hosts lovely events. We got that right. Right? We've got beer pumps that fill up from the bottom. We got that right. We've got, 20,000 Dyson hand dryers in the toilets. Brilliant. We got that right. They sell lovely fish and chips in the ground, and burger and chips and gourmet this, gourmet that. The sausage roll there is blinding. We got that right. Now someone tell me something football that we've got right. It's mental, isn't it? When say it out loud, 57 million. He is our highest ever signing, Dominic Solanke. It beggars belief. I do not care what Arsenal have done. I do not care. I do not care. Gyökeres has got nothing to do with this conversation. I don't care how many goals Gyökeres does or doesn't score for Arsenal. That is not my issue. I'm a Tottenham fan. My issue is, what are we doing? Look at the last strike. I'll tell you what, let's go through it. In reverse order. Right? In reverse order. Let's go through strikers Spurs have signed in recent history. Right? Mawani. Solanke. Valise. Up to you if you want to put Tell in that conversation. Richie. Janssen. Like, we just can't scout. We cannot scout good footballers. By the way, it shouldn't even be scouting, right? Like, when you watch Solanke, that's not scouting. Everyone knows him, right? I don't need to go and scout Dominic Solanke. I think everybody knows what he is and what he isn't. But Spurs, somebody decided that's where we're going to spend £57 million of our budget. And then in the same window, we said 40 million is going to go on Gray. And you're like, oh my God, we've just banged out 100 million on Gray and Solanke. We spent 100 million on Gray and Solanke in one window. Like, you just cannot account for recruitment that is this bad. And then we followed it up with a crap summer. Then we followed it up with a crap January. We have ourselves to blame for this. $47 million we spent on Brennan Johnson. Like Richie, 55 million. Johnson, 47. Solanke, 57. What are we doing here? What on earth are we doing here? And this is what makes me laugh, right? When people want to bring up Arsenal, a team who are fighting for a Premier League, to justify Spurs being terrible every single transfer window, you know the head's gone. You know that there's no rationale. You've not put anything into perspective, Matt, as always. You've not put anything into perspective. Arsenal have built a squad that is challenging every year for titles. So you've not put anything into perspective at all. I don't even know where Valise is, right? I don't even know. Where is Valise these days? God knows. But again, it's just outright crazy, isn't it? It's outright crazy that we do these things. Let's have a look. How many Premier League goals had Dominic Solanke scored in his career before Spurs bought him? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Big Dom Solanke. Now, you know he's going to score tomorrow now I've been talking about him. And everyone will go, see, he's good. And we're, oh, God, yeah, cool, he's good. Dominic Solanke in the Premier League before he signed for Spurs. Right, okay, so he scored no goals at Chelsea. He scored 1 at Liverpool, 3 in that season. That's 4. 10. Right. He had scored 29 Premier League goals in his career by the age of 27 or whatever when we signed him. And we decided that's where our record transfer is going to go. It's crazy. It's honestly, it's absolutely crazy. See, again, as I said, when I said earlier, some fans deserve it. As I said, look, still, as I said, I could say the moon is made of cheese, right? And this guy will say it's made of pickles, right? This is the problem. I could say that says Football Heritage TV. He'll tell me it says something different. This is what I mean. We've become so numb to what we're watching that we are excusing poor footballers time and time again. But again, if anyone had actually watched Vincent Janssen in the Dutch league, you would have seen how slow he was, how cumbersome he was. He had a good year, but we keep doing this. We keep buying people off the back of a good year up front. But 50 cents, listen, if you had said to me, Spurs have signed Dominic Solanke for 30 million quid. All right. 57 million. It just beggars belief. It just beggars belief. Mate, he just does always. You've got to remember, this is the man that wants us to sign. This is the man that wants to build the team around Gray, and he wants us to sign Tyler Dibbling, who can't get in at Everton. Right? It's just, you got a pinch of salt. Like, pinch of salt. Look. But for 50, 60 million, I want better than Dominic Solanke. No? Should I not expect better than Dominic Solanke for 50, 60 million? How much did Villa pay for Watkins? How much did Brentford pay for Thiago? Right? Yeah, we could do this game all day long, by the way, couldn't we? Leeds have just got Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free. On a free. I don't want Calvert-Lewin, by the way, but I would want Calvert-Lewin over Solanke. That's how bad I think Solanke is. Essentially this. So worrying, isn't it? It's so worrying. And look, we are, and it is incompetence. It's incompetence at the highest level. And as I said, we've become, I think so many fans now have become so numb to these players that we're starting to rate them. There are footballers at this club that are still getting rated. And I'm watching week in, week out going, what on earth? What on earth are you watching that I'm not seeing? I mean, this is just ridiculous. If you think that Dominic Solanke is the best you can get for 57 million, you got what you deserve. You got what you deserve. I'm sorry. And please don't compare. Sorry. So I'm not having that. Sorry. I don't know. I think he's terrible. I keep hearing he's a good technical footballer. Not what I'm watching. Adam Wharton's going to miss the Palace game, is he? God. So Krupi at Bournemouth is rumored to be valued around 50 million. What's his Premier League stats? I don't know, actually. Let's have a look. So Krupi. Where is it? Krupi. So Krupi's played 27 games, scored 10 goals. So he's just under 1 in 3, and he is 19 years of age. Definitely one to watch. Good footballer. Definitely one to watch. And this is the problem, Gus. What I also love is when people go, highly sought after. Why did no one go in for him other than Tottenham? Like, if he was highly sought after. I think it was 65 million euros. I think it's 57 million pounds, if I'm not wrong. Let me just double check. Here we go. Tottenham Hotspur, as well as potential club record rival. Yeah. So it's 57 million with a further 10 million possible in bonuses. So I don't know what those bonuses look like. But again, this isn't about Solanke. It's not just about Dominic Solanke, is it? It's about, this kind of shows you where we're at as a club. So Ollie Watkins cost what, 28 million. Look at what he's done at Villa over the last 4 or 5 years. Rashford, yeah, Rashford. Look, yeah, exactly. It honestly baffles me. And as I said, I don't know why it baffles me. I see these people every day. Still will back up poor footballers. And that's fine. Toby said it. As Toby said, there's no quality. We don't have the quality. I think what he said today, Toby, right? What he said today about Romero, about Van de Ven, about the Spurs squad, spot on. Mark, it's all about the Q word. It's all about the Q word. I was taught that growing up when I was doing my coaching badges. Right, I worked with a coach called Nicky Milo. He was a rest in peace. He's passed on now. Top coach. I did my coaching badges with him, and he always said quality. That pass, bit more quality. He always used to say the Q word. Richard, the Q word, the Q word. Quality. And I genuinely think we've forgotten what quality is. I do. I genuinely think we have forgotten what quality looks like. Because now we see a player pass 5 times in a game. Did you see that pass? Yeah, it's a Premier League footballer. I expect that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll get some of your comments in a minute, guys. You don't think the players are as bad as they're made out? I'll tell you what. Let's have a look at how good the players are that Matt rates. You ready? There we go. Have a look at that, guys. Have a look at that. That is the last 100 games. That is since Johan Lang has been at this football club. Have a look. So don't forget, these players aren't as bad as they're made out to be. Look at that. 50. Spurs have failed to win 68 of their last 100 games. 68 games. So you think for the last 100 games, I've sat here, done a watch along. 68 of those times, I've switched the computer off and Spurs have failed to win a game. That is mental, right? That is absolutely mental. What's even worse is, in that time, in that 100 games, look at our goal difference. Look at our goal difference. -9. So, and I keep showing this to people, right? I keep showing this and I keep being told they're cherry pick stats. 100 games. I mean, if that's cherry picking, 100 games, it's nearly 3 seasons, by the way. It's nearly 3 entire seasons. And our points per game is 1.14. In that time, Forest, Palace, Fulham, Brentford, Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth, Newcastle. Look how many points these clubs have won more than Spurs. This isn't bad form, by the way. This now is not bad form. This is what we are as a football club. And use the Romero Van de Ven argument, right? I hear how great they are every week. Those two are going to be part of a team that for the last 3 seasons running have conceded 60 plus goals. Oh, that's utterly shambolic. It's utterly shambolic. People can say we won a trophy. Brilliant. What has that actually done for Spurs? Right? We won a trophy. Brilliant. But look what was going on in the background while that was happening. In 2 years, in nearly 3 years, only West Ham and Wolves have taken less points. And bearing in mind, West Ham, if they win this weekend and we don't, will leapfrog us and we'll go down into 17th there. Sorry, 16th. It's utter, like, I'll leave this on there to show everybody that doesn't, this is for the Matts of this world who don't quite get how bad we are. This is for all of those that keep telling you that these players are better than we see. Well, so they're better, but just not for 3 whole years, right? Look at Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth. Look how small these clubs are in comparison to Tottenham Hotspur, Palace. Look at them. Look at them. In that time, Brentford have got 21 more points than Tottenham over 3 years. It's mad. And this is why when people go, like, whatever you think of Ange, people go, but he won a trophy. Brilliant. Okay, but now let's look at the bread and butter of football, which is the league. What happened? Right? But Ange, Frank, Tudor, Deserve, are they all shit? Are they all shit managers? All of them? All of them are so bad that this is what we've mustered? 1.14 points per game for 3 years? And sure, but they've also played a hell of a lot of games in that last 100, right? Let's see. I'll tell you what, let's see. Let's have a look. So let's type in Christian Romero. Let's see how many games he's played in the last 3 seasons. Come on. What's going on here? It's always why do apps always not work when you need them most? Right. Christian Romero. So Christian Romero in that time has played 30, 50, 60, 68, 71. Christian Romero has played 74 of that 100. 74 of that 100. Van der Ven. Let's have a look at Mickey Van der Ven. Mickey Van der Ven has played 30, 42, 52, 62, 69. So 69 and 74 they've played between them in that last 100 games where we have -9 goal difference. Like, so guys, don't. I read it all the time. What I was watching a show the other night. Somebody in one of the chats said, Savage just cherry picked stats. Sorry, I cherry picked 100 games. That's not cherry picking, is it? So, you know, another thing I hear is they're all internationals. Isn't everyone an international now? Like, what does that actually mean? Like, what does that mean? Papa Sarr's an international, couldn't get a minute of football at the AFCON. What does that actually mean? Really? Like, what does it mean? So, look. The data's all there. The evidence is there. Oh, hang on, let's have a look at this, shall we? Oh, this is interesting. The data's all there. We've got all the evidence we need. Week in, week out. We've got all the evidence we need week in, week out to see how bad we are. And what do? Boom, head in sand. We just bury our heads in the sand. And what's worse than the fans doing it is that the owners have done it. The owners, the directors of football, they've all buried their head in the sand. and allowed this to happen. We haven't. As fans, we haven't allowed this to happen. They've allowed this to happen. They've allowed this to go on year after year. Now, the funny thing is, I remember, you know, that window, we had that shocking window of Solanke, Bergvall, Gray, Odegaard, and I keep missing one more, right? That window, how many people were making videos going, oh, quality, Spurs are bringing in quality youth. Will you watch what they do over the next few years? How's that gone? Just asking for a friend. How's that gone? How's that gone for Spurs? How's the youth project gone? How was winning the trophy, which apparently was the be all and end all? Listen, we want to win trophies. But again, in the summer, how many people just ignored how bad we were because we won a trophy? Right? They ignored it. People still talk about, yeah, but we won a trophy last year. We're about to get relegated. Like, is anybody going to remember this last few years for winning the Europa League? Or are they going to remember it was the period where Spurs got relegated? I can tell you what our rivals are going to remember. Right? What are we going to be remembered for? If I jumped onto, let's say I jumped on with Dan Potts onto the Football's 12th Man podcast, and I went on his panel, and I said, what are you going to remember these last 2 years for? How many of them would say relegation, and how many of them would say Spurs won a trophy? What are you going to remember it for? And this is the thing. When people say winning trophies is very important, but you can't just ignore the bread and butter. You can't ignore your BAU, business as usual. League football is business as usual. And we have ignored it. We have ignored it for years. And it's all come to that point, hasn't it? It's all come to that point. You know what this is like? You know, if anyone's ever put on a bit of weight, right? If you've ever put on a bit of weight and you notice your weight's creeping up, and for a few months you're still trying to get into the same belt buckle, right? You're still trying to get into that same notch because you don't want to admit that you've put on weight and go to the next hole up because it will tell you put on. That's like Spurs. And finally now we can't shoehorn the buckle anymore. So we can have the conversation about, well, we won a trophy before Arsenal. Right now, what club predicament would you rather be in? Would you rather have Arsenal's squad and challenging for the Champions League and the Premier League year in, year out? Or would you rather have Spurs' squad, but we won a Europa League? And that's why it makes me laugh. When people want to go, oh, but look at Arsenal. How on earth can I laugh at Arsenal right now? How on earth can I sit here and laugh at Arsenal? Do I want them to win the league? Of course not. Do I hope Man City win it at this stage? Yes. I don't think anyone else is going to win it. But Luca, but again, everyone needs to take blame. Everyone needs to take the blame. That's the point. Everyone needs to take the blame. The recruitment has been shambolic. But again, it's what I said last summer. This was what I was annoyed about. I wanted Frank in, but I wanted Frank in and then to build. I didn't want Frank in and we had the same old crappy squad as last season. I wanted them to build. I wanted them to mix it up. So, look, you know, I want to come on here. I want to come on here and you know, I want to come on here tomorrow. Spurs win and we go, phew, good win. All right? Won't mean we're out the woods, but I want to be able to do that. But the problem the problem with this is I still don't think for many it's quite sunk in, has it? Still watching people go, no, we'll be all right. And you're like, oh, I'm not sure. Absolutely. Great comments. And our squad is without doubt broken. It's been broken for years. Do you know what? It's never been fixed, has it? So in retrospect, our transfers have been awful. But I'll admit, a number of them I was excited about at the time. Look, sure. But the problem is, it's not all about the individual player, right? The problem is what were they bought for? You know, we can pick any player. What was Van der Ven bought in for? What was Gallagher bought in for? We got any Spurs player you can use this, right? Any player in our squad, I can sit and say, I don't know what they were bought for. I don't know what Porro was bought for, Conte, and then Conte leaves about what? A month and a half, 6 weeks after he's signed. But what were these players signed for? Like right now, I have no idea when they bought Gallagher, who I like, but what did they buy him for? Because there was no formation. What did we buy Bergvall for? What was the plan? Was it to be an 8? Was it to be a 10? Was it to be in a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2? Like, I just don't know with any of them. And as I've said, you look at other clubs, you see what they're doing. You see why players were signed. I understand why Man City bought Semenyo, right? You know why he was signed. You know the plan for Semenyo. Just use him as an example. And this is what we do over and over and over again. And all I want to see, if we stay up, got to caveat that, I want to see that we're actually buying for a purpose. Do you know what I mean? We're actually buying players and going, right, good. We're actually buying for a system. We're buying for a formation. This is going to be the 11. And I have no idea. And this is why I do find it funny. This is definitely not on any single footballer at this club. The players not being good enough isn't on the players. There are certain players that should just never have been signed. So you've got to have purpose, direction, planning. You've got to have something for why these people were bought. Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, these clubs are excellent at it. You know why they buy players. You know what their purpose is when they bring them in. If you have no plan, no direction, no system, then you can bring in whichever footballer you want. It's not going to matter. It's just crazy. Let me have a look at some of your comments that I've saved. Big up to Kia, by the way. Kia, how you doing, my man, out in Texas? I've not spoken to you for ages. Have you still got the shirt? Yeah, Kia won a shirt from me a couple of years back. I had to send it to Texas. It cost me more money to send it to Texas than it did to buy the shirt, I think. But big up to you, Kia. I hope you're well and enjoy work, heading out to work. So enjoy your day. Thank you very much for the super chat. And also Sue Smith with a super sticker. Thank you very much, Sue. I hope you are well. Big up. Nice to see you in the chat as always. And Freestar Reds has come in. Not a Forest fan. I said Forest doing another Spurs Sava in the Europa. Well, Forest are doing their bit, right? Forest, is it Villa? Have you got Villa in the semi? But fair play to Forest. Yeah. But I think you guys will stay up, by the way. I do. I think you guys will stay up. I think you've got enough in your team with the manager, with the way he sets up. I think you've got a very good defense. I think you'll stay up. big game for you guys this weekend, right? You play, is it Wolves or Burnley? One of those two at home. Big game. Win that, you're 6 points clear of Spurs, aren't you? Right? So I think that Leeds and Forest will both be safe. I think this is all going to come down. I think this is all going to come down to Spurs and West Ham. And we need, see, again, not getting it. See, again, this guy wonders why he gets something. No, player for player, we're not better than Forest. Where on the pitch are we player for player better than Nottingham Forest? Where? I'm taking their goalkeeper. I'm taking their two fullbacks. At the moment, I'm taking their two centre-halves. I'm taking their entire midfield. I'm taking Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left. Like, what are we... This is the problem, mate. When you say, oh, everyone's so rude to you, you just can't help but you just... If you truly believe that we've got better player for player... Again, Cowspurs, another one. At the moment, they've got a very good defense. If you actually look at what, Vitor Pereira's done with them, right? Let's have a look at. Let's see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let's have a look. So Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. Let's have a look at their last games. So Nottingham Forest, they conceded 1 to Villa, none to Spurs, none against Fulham. 2 against City, 2 against Brighton, 1 Liverpool, none against Wolves, 1 against Palace. They don't let in a lot of goals. Under Vitor Pereira, they've been hard to beat. And this is the problem, right? When I say some people deserve to go down, it is people like that and Matt. That when I say some, it's the ignorance and the arrogance, isn't it? It's the ignorance and the arrogance that no matter how bad we see these players for 3 years in a row, oh, all our players are better than them man for man. Based on what? Based on what? But based on what? They've battered us twice this year. They beat us at the end of last year. Let's have a look. There you go. They're above us in this. So, man for man, why do we have a better squad than Forest? Sorry, where? Where? And this is what I mean. When we rate these players, I can't help people. If people rate these players, then what do? Like, what do you do? Like, we can't. We lose every week. Nearly every week we've lost for years, right? And still, he's good. He's good. He's good. He's better than him. We've got a better squad than them. Player for player. Right now, who are you taking? Are you taking Romero and Van de Ven, or are you taking Milenkovic and Murillo? Again, look at the state of this. Look at the actual state of this. Look at the state of this comment. Mawani, Gray, Porro. Sorry, Porro over Oleana. Why? Who's Gray getting in front of? Who's Paulinho and Gray getting in front of? Like, honestly, I'd love him to come on and explain this. I'm so baffled. I'm so baffled. It doesn't matter how bad we are. Look at the absolute levels of delusion. Kudus and Maddison, yes. I believe, yes. Mawani, who's he replacing in the Forest team? Who's Xavi replacing in the Forest team right now? Who's Paulinho replacing? Who's Gallagher, Gray, VDV and Romero replacing? Who's Porro replacing? Palace have battered us twice this year. Forest have battered us twice this year, and still, this is what I mean. Notice it's always Matt and it's always Marios. They're not getting it. They're not understanding how bad we are. The rest of the world is waking up to this is a bad squad. Toby Alderweireld said it. There's no quality there. No quality. Not to Matt. It's truly mad. And that's how you know, right? It is at the stage of he is trolling, right? Like, no one can be that silly, can they? If I'm picking a Spurs Forest 1 to 11 right now with everyone that's fit, I'm struggling to get any Spurs player in it. Struggling. Really struggling. Really struggling. Really, do you know what? I'm really struggling to work out with this Matt guy. He just is a troll at this stage, isn't he? Maybe, but when you look at Forest, their strength for me is their midfield three. Their strength, Sangare, Gibbs, White, Anderson, is strong, really strong. As I've said, if we're still at this level where fans are that arrogant, look at how arrogant are these comments. How arrogant. Look, as I said, I know he probably can't read, but look at this. How arrogant. And we still sit there and go, player for player, we're better than all of these. Who? Who is good in the Spurs team? Who are these good players? Where have they been for 3 years if they're so good? Where have they been? Where have they been for 3 years? I mean, I see this all the time, right? By the way, Bournemouth have agreed a deal in principle with Marco Rose. So Marco Rose will be the new Bournemouth manager, it appears. But you know, we do this all the time. Who's better player for player, us or Palace? Well, for what? Palace have bought. Again, this is how I know it's trolling, right? Palace have bought for what they need. Really well, haven't they? Munoz, quality wing back. Mitchell, good player on the left-hand side. Lacroix, Richards, right? These guys are brilliant for what they need. So when we're saying player for player, what does that mean? What does that mean? Adam Wharton is better than anything we've got in midfield. Mateta's better than anything we've got up front. Dean Henderson's better than any of our goalkeepers, right? Munoz is better than any of our fullbacks. Lacroix, for me, is better than our centre-halves. Like, what does this mean? These teams keep beating us, and we keep convincing ourselves that our players are better, our players are better, our players are better. I'm truly baffled. And as my man Philly says, that his mum always says, those who don't see must feel. Those who don't see it must feel it. They must feel it. Because we're still out here rating all these players that have been shit for years. It doesn't matter how many games we lose. It doesn't matter how many times these teams beat us. It doesn't matter. Our players are better. Our players are based on what? Based on what, for example, is Romero and Van der Ben better than Murillo and Milenkovic? Based on what? And Graham, I don't think some of them will. I don't think some of them will, mate. I don't think the penny will drop with these people. I think we could go down to League Two, and I don't think the Mats of this world will understand it. I don't think they'll understand that the players they rate aren't as good as they think. We are in the worst form of every 92 league clubs. Let that sink in. 92 league clubs in England, right? We are in the worst form of any of them, right? And for the last 2 years, we have lost 38 games in 70. And we're still out here going, but player for player what? Player for player what? And it is Daniel Field. It is copium. It is absolutely copium. That and people who don't know what a good footballer looks like. Right now, go and ask any Forest fan which Spurs player they want to put in their team that's currently fighting and battling. Let's have a look, right? In Nottingham Forest, let's have a look. It's just absolutely crazy. In Nottingham Forest, by the way, have lost one of their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Forest have lost 1 in 9 in all competitions. 1 in 9. Right? 1 in 9. And Pilch, it's absolutely this. Absolutely. Imagine going into a debate and the players that have not won for 4 months, that's your side of the argument. It's like a defense lawyer going in and claiming Ted Bundy is innocent, isn't it? It's like representing Ted Bundy and truly believing he's innocent. Like we just don't get it. So what's the excuse for the 2 previous years? By the way, what's the excuse for the 2 previous years? It's easy to blame Frank and Tudor. What? So not on Ange? Nothing on Ange? Nothing on the directors of football? Like, when you're saying they've not been coached, so didn't Ange coach them? Or was that just Frank that didn't coach them? And this is what I mean, copium. It's a really powerful tool, isn't it, copium? It's a really powerful tool. And as I said, I've noticed over the year, more and more people get it. More and more people now. People are like, no, they're good. Dietrich, big up, my man. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. Absolutely. This is how you know it's very bad. This is how you know it's very bad. Very bad, right? I wouldn't put any of our current forwards in Forest's team, West Ham's, or Leeds. That's bad. That's what we've bought. That's what we bought. Yeah, but we've been in a bad run, my friend, for 3 years. We've been in a bad run for 3 years. See, now you just know he's trolling. Now you just know he's coached them to a trophy. What, while losing 22 league games in the this? You're sorry, I won't be rude, but you and this is what I mean. But have you noticed? Listen, I know he gives you Matt a bad name, but that Matt, have you noticed? You can see a pattern. Loves Ange, loves Solanke, loves Gray, thinks our players are great. Can you see the pattern with these people? Isn't it funny? I could show him this all day long, and he's still telling me we got a good squad. Look at it. 100 games, and only West Ham and Wolves are below us in 100 games. It is frightening. You're a troll, mate. You're just a troll. It's, as I said, those fans, they got what they deserve. Most fans, I would say 99% of Spurs fans don't deserve this. Fans like that absolutely deserve it because they're not seeing. So they must feel this pain in a different way, right? They must feel this pain in a different way. We could get relegated. He'll still be sitting there saying, pound for pound, our players are better than Nottingham Forest or whoever. I love this myth, by the way, that Ange stopped in the league, carrying in the league to win the Europa League when his form for the previous 18 months had been really shit. I love how we just seem to forget this. I know. It's mad, isn't it? But it's what I mean. It's not Ange. It's not Frank. It's not Tudor. It's not De Zerbi. It's everything. And this is why when people blame one person, it's very, very difficult. Yeah, if you want to die on a hill for one cause, it's very difficult. I think most intelligent fans now have come to a realization that the whole club is a mess. Not people like Matt. He can't quite get his head around how bad. Like, the funny thing is we're saying Matt Ange won a trophy. Okay, won a trophy. Brilliant. Can I ask, why does that mean then that we have to lose 22 league games in the meantime? If he coached them that well to win the trophy, why couldn't he coach them to not lose every week in the Premier League? Like, I can't make that work in my head. So they were coached for cup games, but not coached for league games. It makes no sense. But you keep lying. He didn't prioritize the Europa. I'm going to ask you this. Let's see if I get an answer. I'd love you to come on, Matt. I'd love you to come on. I need you to explain to me then, why was the 18 months of form in the league before the back end of last season, why was that so bad? Why was that so bad? Why are we pretending like we were winning week in, week out and then stopped playing in the league to concentrate on the Europa? This is so... There's no rhyme or reason. Exactly. Yeah. What was Ange's priorities when he was at Forest? Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, this isn't about Ange, right? It's not about Ange. It's not about Frank. This is the bigger thing. He won't come on. He won't come on. He won't come on. He won't come on. But this is where it's dangerous, right? Because Matt told us, people like Matt told us, this is all on Thomas Frank. Anyone but Frank wins games with this squad. Well, we've not won a game since he's left. So, like, maybe it's not all on Thomas Frank. It's not all on Ange. It's not all on one person. And that is the worry, Reese. That is the worry. I sat and watched Leeds, their front line, attacking Man United. Leeds. This is Leeds United. And I'm sitting there going, we don't have a forward line capable of what they've just done to Man United. We don't have that. We don't have that at the football club. That's Leeds. You know, I'm going to be saying it to the end of the season. If we stay up by hook or crook, this lot can all go. This lot can all go. I am so bored of being told how good they are. I'm so bored of people pretending they're good. Angus is back. Hey, Angus, where have you been, mate? How are you, buddy? Hope you're well. Where you been? And I think this is it, Mark, right? I hate these either or questions. We always get it, don't we? What would you rather finish there than... No, I would rather that we win the Europa League, but we don't lose 22 games in the season in the meantime. Like, you're right. to win a trophy doesn't mean if you're capable of winning a trophy, why aren't you capable of winning more league games? Like I wouldn't even answer his question, Mark. I would completely disregard it. It's one of those questions that kids ask you. Would you rather this or that? Well, what does it matter? What? No, people go, would you rather win a trophy or finish top four? So why don't you try and win a trophy and finish top four? Like Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, City fans, you never hear them talking about if this or that. They want both, right? To be honest, I got that massively wrong. And I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting De Zerbi to do what he did. I'll be honest, I wasn't, mate. I wasn't expecting De Zerbi to do what he did. I thought it was a dreadful first game from De Zerbi. I think he got absolutely everything wrong. Absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely. Nobody's saying Daniel Farke has prioritised the FA Cup. Absolutely. No one at Forest is saying, Forest have prioritised the Europa League. We just make it up because they don't want the truth. And the truth is that whilst we pretend we only lost those games because we were in the Europa League, the data suggests otherwise because the data goes back further than the Europa League. And this is where I'm at with it, right? If you are truly a good team that go and win a trophy, right, and you're that good, why can't you finish high up the table as well? This is what I never got, right? So are we saying, so what we're saying here is, let's let this sit with you for a second. What we're doing is we're saying that Anne just turn around and gets good coaching for Europa League, sets the team up right for the Europa League, right? But then in the Premier League, we're saying he stopped coaching, said, don't worry about these games, and told them to lose on purpose. I'm not buying it for a second. I'm not buying it. The difference is in the Premier League, his style of football did not work. His style of football did not work. Did it? It didn't. And in Europe, what did Van der Ven say? Van der Ven and Romero had to go to him and ask to change style to win the games, to get us over the line. Now, I've got nothing wrong with that. I think that's good management that he's acknowledged, hang on, my squad are telling me something, I need to listen. But people are saying he coached them to win it, but the players changed the way they played for those games because his style was getting us opened up every week. So yeah, listen, thank you for winning a trophy, but I think the revisionism is quite scary. I think the revisionism is very, very scary. And as I said, right? So by Matt's theory, so shouldn't Thomas Frank have been kept in the job because we were still in the Champions League? I'm just playing by their rules, right? Just playing by their rules. Thomas Frank was still in the Champions League. So why didn't we stick with him? Can't have it one way for one and one for the other. But again, this isn't about one person. We talked about this so many times. This is going back years. This is going back years and years and years and years. And unfortunately, there are too many people like that, right? There are too many people like that think this is Football Manager, and it's not. This is not a Football Manager game. This isn't FIFA. This isn't FIFA. And listen, I use these as therapy sessions, by the way. This is like therapy for me. Hopefully everyone's having group therapy from Sava the counsellor. Well, we had 2 years. we had 2 years to show that he couldn't build anything. So yes, we do know the answer. I'm sorry, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. When we say to build on from the Europa League win, we saw what he did week in, week out in the Premier League, and it was lose games. So, and agreed, right? This is the difference. Last year, there was no chance of getting relegated because the teams were so bad down the bottom. This year, it's not the case. So, you cheeky git. Doesn't Usyk have more wins at your stadium than you do? It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, mate. We're so bad. But hey, it is what it is. Let me go to some of your comments. Rob Welsh has said, fancy a pint in Cardiff next season. Yes, mate. I'll come to Tottenham Hotspur. I'll go to the Cardiff Tottenham game next year in the Championship. We'll have a night out in Cardiff. Oh, God, we're so bad, aren't we? God, we're so bad. Big up to you, Rob. Big up to Kulu's elusive kneecap, who said, I know nothing of the Championship. Who from there do you think we could bring in to help us? Oh, my gosh. Well, look, that's a question and a half, isn't it? This is the problem. No one at this football club knows the Championship. None of our players, the manager, the director of football, none of them know the Championship. So, listen, there's a lot of players that we will have to take from the Championship. I think there'll be a few that stay, a few that play. I think that's Archie Gray's level, to be honest. I think that might be Bergval's level as well. Danso, I think, would stay. I think I'd make him my captain. I'd put him at centre half. But we'd need a lot of players, and we'd need people to come into the football club that understand the Championship. So you're right. It's a different kettle of fish down there. 46 games as well. It's a long old season. It's a long slog. For anyone that thinks it'll be easy down there, it's a long slog. Big up to you. Big up to the Stoic. How you doing, my man? He says, do you think we are also looking at players we need if we go down? We should be, surely, but knowing our recruitment team, I doubt it. Well, look, yeah, I mean, I guess what you're talking about is there's reports coming out about Andy Robertson if we stay up, about Senesi if we stay up. You would like to think they're doing their homework, right? You would like to think that somebody started that. You would love to think that. I also agree with you. I don't trust them. I don't trust that they're doing that. I don't trust that they're already, because right now we're in a situation where we've got to be looking at that, right? We've got to be looking at that. So we'll see, my man. But listen, who knows? Who knows? Big up to you. Big up to Walid Ladan. Big up to you, my man. Said, question, I think we get relegated. If we do, what is a step-by-step process you want to see take place to make sure we get back and this never happens? And if we don't, what's also a step-by-step you'd like to see? Oh, wow. So step-by-step, first and foremost, if we go down, is to get rid of Lang, is to get rid of Vinay, and to bring somebody into this football club that knows the lower leagues. You're going to need somebody that knows that league. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't know the Premier League as well, but that's the first step for me, is getting a director of football that knows that league, that's used to taking players out of that league. Maybe Dougie Freedman, as we keep talking about. So the second step is to get rid of all the big money players. The second step is going to be to get those players off the books, sell them, start paying back our amortization, and to start putting a plan in place to bring in footballers in that can play that league. So, and if the last part of your question, if we don't go down, if we stay up, everything I've just said, but with Premier League, we need a new director of football. We need somebody that understands how to scout. We need, we need a lot. We need a hell of a lot, don't we? We need a hell of a lot. So, look, it's going to be interesting. We'll see. Big up to you, my man. Jorge has said, do you think you're getting relegated? I do. At the moment, I do. Football can change. We win tomorrow. Who knows? We go to Wolves and grab a win. Suddenly, maybe not. But at the moment, I do think we're going down. Hope I'm wrong. And if I'm not wrong, it's a sad day for Tottenham. Sad day. Big up to you, my man. Big up to James. Says, who wins the Europa? I think Aston Villa win the Europa. I think Aston Villa win the Europa. We'll see, though. They've got some good games coming up in the semi-finals, right? I think Aston Villa win it. Big up to you. Big up to my man, Mark. He said, Akliouche or Solis are both better than what we have, but definitely better than signing no one. I tell you what, I would have gone and got both of them. Akliouche will be wanted by a lot of top clubs this year. And again, look how many people didn't want him at Spurs. It's just so mad. It's just mad. Big up to you, my man. Big up to James Saunders coming again and says, Sava, you remind me of 2015 Aston Villa when we went down. Crap ownership. As fans, we used to absolutely overhype players, players, and Spurs are literally doing the 2015 Villa side that went down. Well, listen, as I said before, unfortunately, we got a lot of fans who can't quite wrap their head around how bad a lot of these footballers are, right? They're not getting it. That Marius guy comes in here and says we've got a better squad than Chelsea and Newcastle and Villa. And you know what I mean? And you're like, what? How are we thinking this? But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And big up to Norman Cohen, who says, Sava, a leading question. Will Spurs come straight back up? I don't know. Not with the current setup. No, not with the current setup. If Vinay and Lang are still here and we don't get a proper director of football that knows that league, I don't think, only my personal opinion, I don't think we do. However, if we go down and it all gets ripped up and we start again with a proper director of football, then sure, why not? Why not? But listen, it's the difficulty we've got there, my man, is if we go down, we have no idea what a squad's going to look like next year. Do we? We have no idea who's going to go, who's going to stay. We have no idea what money there's going to be, what level of player we're going to attract, who's going to be the goal scorer that gets us out of that league. I don't know. I don't know is my honest answer. I really don't know if we're going to bounce straight back up if we go down. Again, see, look, we're not getting it. We're not getting it. Maybe we should have given him a few more months after 18 months of bad league form. Just more bad. Honestly, we deserve it. I said it. We deserve this. We deserve this. We just, by the way, Phil Coys, right up until we won that final, wanted Ange out. And then you win the final. Oh, Ange should stay. You can't make this up. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But each to their own. Sonny said, you're right, Sava. Big up. I'm good. How are you? Said, I'm not worried yet, but I will be tomorrow if we can't get 3 points. Who's going to be our skipper? Paulinho, Danso. Don't want VDV. I don't want VDV to be either. Danso, I could be a good shout. Paulinho, I mean, if he plays him, if he plays him, we'll see. We'll see. It's a good question. Who is going to be the captain? I think he said he's going to make a decision on this, right? Chris has said, you can buy your way out of the championship. Trouble is you need someone who knows that. Agreed. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not that we can't come back up. We just need someone that knows how to. Needs someone that knows how to. Right? And at the moment, I don't think we have that in Johan Lang. Yeah. John said, yes, to be fair, Sava, Ange isn't and wasn't a problem. I don't want him, so I'm not having a go. But it's the I agree. Listen, I don't like Ange as a manager, but he is not the problem, right? Like, as I've said before, Frank is not the problem. Tudor was not the problem, right? There are multiple problems. There are so many problems at this football club. But it seems like you can't have a chat about Ange or about Frank without one of them taking all of the blame for everything. And listen, this has been going on before Ange and Frank. This has been going on for years. and years and years. So we'll see. Max said, I will never understand the Paulinho love. The guy is the epitome of what is wrong with our midfield and all hustle and heart. I mean, again, deserves to go down. Again, Max, sorry, you deserve to go down. You mean in a relegation fight, we don't want the best tackler in the Premier League? No? Guys, again, as I said, let it sink in. There's not Paulinho love, but Paulinho's got to start. He's got the most tackles in the Premier League. Why would you not want that in a relegation battle? What on earth? Imagine saying that's not what's needed in a relegation battle. I genuinely don't understand this fan base in any way, shape, or form. Look at him. He's only played 59% of our games. It's truly worrying. It's truly, truly worrying, right? That the same fans, yeah, Paulinho's not playing, Xavi's not playing good, but we're not winning games. So clearly something's not right because we're not winning any games, are we? We're not winning any games. And people are going, oh, yeah, but Xavi's not right for a relegation battle. So who is? What, the ones that are playing each week now and losing? Like, it's just crazy. Exactly. Exactly. I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. I see loads of the younger fans that will go that Bergvall and Gray should be the midfield because Paulinho can't pass. And you're like, sorry, have you seen Gray and Bergvall passing? It's not very good, is it? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It's truly, truly atrocious. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Listen, we know what Paulinho is and we know what Paulinho isn't. We know that Paulinho is not the greatest on the ball, but he's chipped in with goals. He's got the most tackles in the Premier League. And again, we just can't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just at the stage where it feels like common sense has gone completely out the window with a large portion of this fan base now. Just, look, as I said, if we want to keep playing Greys and Bergvalls, and fine, but I agree with this completely. I think Gray is the master of the 5-yard pass that doesn't go anywhere. Absolutely. Who's a number 10? Who's a number 10? I keep hearing, by the way, that Gray is a good passer for the ball. I don't really see it. I don't really see it. Like, but if that's the level that we're saying is good enough, then we deserve to go down, as I said. But again, I don't see that Gray does anything different to what Winks and Skip did. I don't. I'm not having a go at the kid. I don't see he did anything different to what Winks and Skip were doing when they were that age. But for some reason, he's a really good player. I thought we a massive mistake to start Van der Ven Romero. Danso and Dragoshin duo is better. Look, I just don't think it's been right all season. I don't rate this Van der Ven Romero partnership like everyone else does. I don't rate it. Big up to my man, Philly. I was quoting you earlier, or quoting your mum, to be honest, about those that don't feel, or those that don't see must feel. I said, big up, everyone. When has Gray shown this amazing passing in a big game? I agree with you, mate. I don't see it. If that's the level of player acceptable at Spurs, and there should be no surprise at Spurs. And this is the point, right? This is the point. Look at the players we praise. Look at the players we praise. Years gone by wouldn't have been anywhere near a Tottenham shirt. But we're praising them. We're praising them. We're out here every day praising them. As I said, I did the show yesterday or 2 days ago with Kate, didn't I? Myself and Kate and Nick came on, didn't he? And there were people in the chat saying Bergval's a 10. He's a playmaker. It's like, okay, brilliant. Let's go and look at his stats are bad. His data's bad. And what I see with my eyes is bad. But he's a playmaker. Sure. If by playmaker you mean doesn't score, doesn't assist, and doesn't create and can't pass, then he's a playmaker. Sure. So, we kind of have what we deserve in large parts. We signed crap like Tell, like Odegaard, didn't we? We signed players without a plan like Gallagher. We signed Porro and Udogie for wing backs, and and all their career they've played mostly fullback for Spurs. Like all of these different things we could go into, just none of it makes sense. And absolutely, the bar's been set so low now. The bar is so low. And if we get relegated, the bar's going to be even lower, my man. But the worrying thing about it, Sonny, is our fans used to know a player. Like, if anyone thinks Gray's a really good passer of football, they've not seen good passing footballers at Tottenham before, have they? Like if that's the level that we've got to praise. Now, that boy could pass a football. Tommy Huddleston's passing was phenomenal. Couldn't run around, but that boy could. Oh, God, now that was a passer of a ball. Luka Modric, Michael Carrick. These were good passers. Not Grays and Benton. Do you know what I mean? Not these players now. By the way, what do you all make of the news that Tottenham are after Senesi if we stay up? What do you all make about it? Oh, they won't survive, by the way. You can't have all four of them in your team if you go down. You're going to need men. I saw Sean said it earlier. It was bang on. When you look at the teams fighting at the top of the championship, none of them are playing kids. None of them are playing kids. They're all playing men. I think the youngest was the youngest Coventry player the other day was 24, and Middlesbrough player Hackney was 23, 24. Sure, you can praise and rate Gray, but he's done nothing to be praised or rated. And I'm not comparing him with Modric. But I'm saying is when fans like you say he's a good passer of football, well, his data doesn't really suggest that. My eyes don't tell me that he doesn't. He passes it 5 yards. He literally goes, boom, 5. Everything is 5-yard passing. Everything is 5-yard passing. But again, we all know you don't like good footballers. We all know you rate some really bad players. So it's all good. God. On the ball. Just imagine he had an engine. Do you know what I mean? Just imagine he had an engine. That boy could pass. Now that boy could pass a football. And that's what I mean. I don't think these fans like Matt have seen these good footballers that played for Spurs. I genuinely don't think they have seen these good players. Otherwise, they wouldn't be raving about these average ones. I agree. I think Gray will be okay in the championship. But again, he can't be your main man. If you go down, you're gonna have to get some experience in and alongside Archie Gray. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna have to buy seasoned pros that have been there, seen it, and done it, that can get you out of that division. Agreed. By the way, just saying, this is his longest run of starting games for Tottenham. And it coincides with our worst run for years. So just saying. I'm not blaming Gray, but that's the level we've got to, right? That's the level we've got to. So, no, I will never apologize to anyone for not wanting better. Doesn't mean they can't be good players in the future. But right now, my football club, our football club, this football club that we love, should not be having players like Bergvall and Gray in the 11. We shouldn't. You don't see Arsenal playing those types of players. City. You don't see Newcastle playing people as bad as those two. Or as average, whatever. But you don't see them doing it. Even West Ham. Even West Ham's midfield is better than players like Gray and Bergvall. He's a connector. I love this. He's a connector. Good gosh. Michael Carrick was a connector. Tommy Huddleston was a connector. Moussa Dembele was a connector. Right? Please stop talking to me about a player who's done absolutely nothing in football so far. I don't even think Bergvall's regressing. I don't think he actually did anything to be put on the pedestal. He ran around a lot. And everyone went, oh, God, he's player of the year in what was a crap year. Brilliant. But again, I don't put these people on a pedestal. I don't put them. Yes. You think they paid 25 million for Wharton. We paid 40 for Gray. So I had this debate the other day with Lubo. It's just absolute madness. Right? Absolute madness. Nothing against Gray. Right? I'm sure he'll have a good career, but they're going and buying Adam Wharton for 15 million less. And look how good Adam Wharton is. Oh, look how good Adam Wharton is. Anderson. Look at these boys now. They're passers of the ball. This is what we think Bergvall and Gray are. They're not. I wouldn't want Richie as my captain in any way, shape, or form. Not for me, mate. Do you know what? I was actually watching Leeds. I've watched Leeds last 3 or 4 games, and I've been really impressed by the guy. What's his name? Is it Tanaka in the middle for Leeds? I've been really impressed with him. I think we don't even buy sensible players like that. Is it Tanaka? Yeah, Tanaka. I've been really impressed with him. I think he's got a good engine on him. I've been really impressed with him. But let's have a look. Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. Does a bit of everything, doesn't he? Wins the ball, good in the duel, gets the ball forward. You know, solid players. You know, the type of thing that we've not got. Sure, but you say that he was involved in Harry Redknapp's teams that were finishing 4th and 5th, wasn't he? So, hey, I thought he was a quality footballer. Quality footballer. Big up to David out there in Cornwall. Big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. Very generous indeed. So, Daddy-O said, Sava, would you want some answers from Lang, or would you rather him just go without having to explain himself? Just to go. What's he going to say? It's just going to be more and more nonsense. It'll just be more nonsense, won't it? I just want him gone. He's been terrible. Him, Paratici, just terrible. Just saying. Sure. Just devil's advocate. 40 million quid. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I agree with you. I don't think Real Madrid have got that midfield right at all at the moment. Yeah, I agree. No, Wharton's just a much better player. When you say add context, Wharton's just a superior footballer. Right? Adam Wharton went straight into a team that was in a relegation battle, made the midfield his own, helped keep them up, and got in the England squad within 6 months. I'm sorry, mate. He's just a superior footballer. Honestly, mate, you don't know a footballer at all. Who said he was a world beater? Just said he had a great pass on him. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful pass with a ball. Who said it? Oh God! Can you imagine now in our midfield he'd stand out by a mile? And fans like Matt, who won't know about Tommy Huddleston, would watch him and go, "Cool, that boy can pass." It's funny. It's funny. He raves about Archie Gray, but Tommy Huddleston, just a good, steady player. You've got to laugh. Like you've absolutely got to laugh at this stage, haven't you? Tom Huddleston would be our best midfielder right now. That's where we're at. So I liked that group midfield we had. What did we have? We had Modric and Huddleston and Wanyama and Parker. And now look at the level we've got now. Look at the level that we praise now. Oh, Gus, you could tell who's watched who, right? Dude, I listen. If you want to talk about age, talk about age. I'm talking about the footballer. Forest went out and bought Anderson. Why couldn't we? Palace went out and bought Walton. Why couldn't we? Right? Why couldn't we? Why did we have to go and get an 18-year-old that we have to sit around and wait to come good? I'm just so bored of the excuses for all of these players. It's every year there's an excuse as to why they've not developed or why they're not. Listen, Archie Gray's played how many games in a row? 14, 15, 16, or whatever he's played in that midfield. I'm still not seeing anything where I go, I thought he was really good against Atleti. I'm still not seeing anything personally where I go, yeah, you're going to be a top midfielder. I think he looks okay. I don't think he's particularly great at anything. He's very weak. His tackling is non-existent. He's not good at winning his duels. You know. But hey, Ferg, how you doing, Ferg? Sorry's the new Michael Brown. At least Michael Brown banged goals. Michael Brown, Ferg. There's a name. God, I remember when we bought him. Gosh, what a long time ago. Andy, I just don't listen. Everyone wants to hype youth. I'm more of a talk to me when they get there, right? If you want to hype youth too soon, this is what you get. Unfortunately, people have put players on a pedestal too soon. As I've always said to you, I don't know how good some of these youngsters will be or won't be in a few years. I don't know. But at the moment, I'm not seeing anything from any of them that keep getting praised that makes me go, God, we've got a top player there. You know, like when Ledley King came through and we went, cool, now that's a top youngster, right? Same with Sol Campbell, right? I'm not seeing it with the youngsters that we've bought. I'm just not. Doesn't mean they won't be great. Doesn't mean they won't be shit. I don't know. So they're probably all going to go on and have great careers. To what level? I don't know. But, you know, I don't know. It's, yeah, I just think with youngsters, everyone goes way too soon. Everyone goes way too soon on them, right? Not just at Spurs. I think in all clubs, everyone sees a youngster. Like, look at the pressure being put on that Max Dowman at Arsenal. I think the boy's 16. Like, he's 16. I know he plays for them, but good luck to the lad for his career. But he's 16 years of age. Like, we can't be talking about people going, oh, he should get in the England team. Whoa, 16 years of age. Let him learn, let him grow, let him develop. Stop putting them all on pedestals, you know? See, again, Matt, you know when I call you a dickhead, it's because you say stupid shit like this. Genuine question. Now, this is so funny, right? This is how you know this guy is a genuine idiot. Says, since you are against youth so much, Matt, I've worked for 2 professional football clubs in youth development. Please don't talk to me about me hating youth. The differences between me and you, mate, is I wait for players to develop before I claim they're amazing, right? The difference with you is you put them all on a pedestal too soon. So you've gone and say, seeing as I hate youth so much, which I don't, how was you when the likes of Bale and Kane were young? Well, the difference is when we signed Bale from Southampton, I think we'd seen at Southampton what a really good footballer he was, right? And the difference is I don't remember anybody in Bale's first year giving him the hype that Gray has had the last 2 years. Like, that's the difference. Harry Kane as well. I didn't rate Harry Kane when he was young. I think many people said, God, he's not going to make it. So now to be one of the best players in the world, right? But the problem is, Matt, when you say stupid, dumb shit, like, seeing as I'm against the youth, no, I want to see Spurs buy proper quality footballers. I'm not against the youth. But the problem is people like you caveat every conversation with the youth by mentioning their age. If you need to caveat a player's age, they shouldn't be in the first team, right? If you want to bring them on 20 minutes here, 15 there and develop them, that's different. But the difference is I don't go raving about them the way you do. We bring youth into a very unstable setup, right? Which is not fair on them. But it's got nothing to do with Bale or Kane. Please stop talking like Archie Gray is Bale or Kane. I've watched Archie Gray now for 2 years in a Tottenham shirt. He's okay. Like, he's okay. I don't know what anyone's watching and getting really excited about. And as I said to you, again, because you are pretty stupid, I'll explain this to you in layman's terms. I would love it if Archie Gray turns out to be a world-class midfielder. So far, what I've seen from him, I expect Spurs to be where they are because we've got players like that at that level right now. Doesn't mean he won't go on to be great. Doesn't mean he won't be. He could go on to be shit. He could go on and be a world beater. Right now, I watch Gray and I just don't get it. I don't get the hype, right? When I watch the Barcelona kids, I go, cool, I get the hype, right? Right? I get the hype with the Barcelona kids. When I watch Josh King for Fulham, good player. Impresses me. Really, really impresses me. You watch that young lad Leonard Carl at Bayern Munich. Good player. You see it. Straight away you go, yeah, you can play. Right? Even Max Dowman. When I've seen Max Dowman, you go, God, you've got bundles of ability. I get it. Bundles of ability. But the problem is, I've watched Gray for 2 years now. Everyone's making out like he's 17. He's not. He's 20 years of age, and I don't think should be in the Spurs midfield. Doesn't mean he won't be good. But please don't ever tell me, that I'm so against youth. No, I want Spurs to have the best team, right? And what would Barcelona have done with him? Max, I love this. When people say this, I just love this. I love this, right? I just absolutely love this nonsense. Bergvall was being chased by Barca. Yeah, and wouldn't guarantee him football. That's how much they wanted him. And that's why he shouldn't be in our first team. If you agree he's not at that level, if he's not good enough yet, he shouldn't be in our first team. The problem is this argument about the Kanes and the Bales, when people use the anomalies as the argument, they don't realize it is the anomaly. It is the anomaly. For every Bale or Kane, there are 70, 80, 90, 100 other youngsters that don't go on to do anything. But people pick on the one player that, oh, well, what were you like with Bale? Well, Bale, we'd seen at Southampton what he could do, but Bale was not raved about like this. I never remember in Bale's first year, him getting this sort of cult fan club that Gray's got. Hope he turns out to be a top footballer. I really, really do. But my only argument at the time, which is still applicable now, is that for 40 million, we could have gone and got a Manu Kone, a Locatelli, right? An Adam Wharton for less than these are players that all cost less, right? People saying, oh yeah, but Gray won Young Player of the Year. Didn't Ollie Skip win Player of the Year in the Championship? Didn't he? Like, you know, we can't. I had I've had this argument for years, and we're going to wrap up in a minute, guys, but had this argument for years, right? With Winks and Skip. I was told for 5-6 years, these two, you're harsh on them. They're good. Look at them. Look at this great game Winks had against Real Madrid. And now look at them. Both are about to get relegated down to League One. Right? So, please, any more stupid comments telling me that I hate the youth so much, you will just get blocked for being an idiot. I don't hate the youth. You've got to be good enough, right? I've worked in youth football. I love that you can develop young players. This is the problem, Carlos, right? This is absolutely the problem. Right? This is absolutely a problem. Doesn't matter how bad we are, how many games we lose. The players just get hyped and hyped and hyped. 40 million. I don't care how old he is. If you're spending 40 million and he's in the first team, I'm going to judge him. Right? What are you doing? He's part of a team that doesn't win every week and he gets praised for passing. I thought the other day, I thought he was horrible against Sunderland. All he did, pass it back to Romero van der Ven. That's all he did. But you won't see me putting them on a pedestal. If I put someone on a pedestal, I think they're really good. Right? Yamal, that's a young player that goes on a pedestal. Right? Some people go, oh, but they're young. At what age do they stop being young? Like, at what age do we go, right, you've got to, at what age do we go, right, you've got to be performing weekly consistent? And that's it. And that's that, Mark, you've summed it up better than I could. This is my whole point. Whether he's going to be great in the future or not, it is irrelevant, right? It's about now. I don't blame Gray, but he shouldn't be starting week in, week out in centre mid for Tottenham now. Doesn't mean in the future, but now. Exactly. There's loads of good young players all over the world. Yeah. Top young players. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I agree. Listen, big up to David. Very generous again. So, Sava, come down with the Spurs guys on the show. And can we have Sean? We will talk Spurs fans football. Come on. I'll speak to Sean. We'll get down to see you. Thank you very much, David. And you've not stopped there. You put in another one. Very generous, mate. Thank you. Sava, you're great at the Spurs game. Please come. The Spurs in Newquay. You're a great man. Thank you very much, David. You're very, very generous indeed. Look, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do a live score show that will head straight into, for the 3 o'clocks, that will head straight into the watch along for Tottenham v Brighton. Massive game. Massive game. If we lose it, I think we're down. Guys, girls, let me see if anyone else is live that I can send you over to. Let's see. Is anyone live? Seems pretty quiet out there. I'm going to send you over to, there you go. I'm going to send you over to Sarah, Spurs from the Stands. Great content creator. I'm going to send you over to her channel. So please like, subscribe, show us some love, and just say Sava or fhtv raid. Much love. Take care. I'll see you all tomorrow. And as always, Enoch out, Matt out, and come on, you Spurs.